The NHL announced its major events for the 2022-23 season, including a Winter Classic return to Fenway Park and the rescheduling of the Stadium Series and All-Star games from last year. This is an Icethetics Flash Report for February 12th. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. Several major events have been set for next season. The NHL made the announcement during All-Star Weekend in Las Vegas last week. First up, the Winter Classic returns for its 15th anniversary in 2023. It will be back in Boston at Fenway Park, the first time we've seen a venue repeated for this event. It'll be the Bruins' 5th outdoor appearance and 3rd time hosting. In addition to the first Fenway Park game in 2010 against the Flyers, the Bruins also hosted Montreal at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Here's a look at their past Winter Classic jerseys. The NHL seemed to be branching out with the Winter Classic in recent years, staging the game in Texas for the first time, between the Stars and Predators in 2020, then having Minnesota host this year. But now they're headed right back into their comfort zone. Regardless, the NHL has not yet named an opponent for the Bruins. One can only hope the visiting team will be a first-timer. Unfortunately, some reports have the Pittsburgh Penguins playing in what would be their 3rd Winter Classic and 5th outdoor game. The date has not yet been confirmed either. This event is traditionally held on New Year's Day, except when it falls on a Sunday, where it would have to fight for TV viewers against football. It does fall on a Sunday in 2023, so we may see the game held on Monday, January 2nd instead, as it was in 2012 and 2017. The league announced another outdoor game, the 2023 NHL Stadium Series, hosted by the Carolina Hurricanes at Carter-Finley Stadium. That's the football home of NC State, and it also happens to be right across the street from the Canes' own home at PNC Arena in Raleigh. This is a rescheduling of an event that was originally set for February 20th, 2021. Unfortunately, it was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Uniforms were never officially released for that game, but the Hurricanes jersey did leak in June. It showed up at a sports store in Raleigh. The jersey was black with a monochrome red crest and red numbers. There's also a bit of heathered striping on the sleeves and waist. We saw something similar on the Team North America jerseys at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, and subsequently on the Canes' black 3rd jersey. The Hurricanes have been a bit cagey about whether they will wear this leaked jersey or come up with a new design for 2023. So on that, we'll just have to wait and see. No opponent was officially named for the 2021 game, but an Icethetics source did confirm that it would have been the Penguins, their 3rd Stadium Series in 5 years after facing the Flyers in 2017 and 19. So maybe it's a good thing that game was delayed. Looking ahead to next year, it's more likely Pittsburgh will end up in the Winter Classic, which opens up a great opportunity for another outdoor first-timer. My vote would be the Florida Panthers. This would be a great way to showcase 2 amazing teams in non-traditional hockey markets to a much wider audience. Speaking of the Panthers, South Florida will host the next NHL All-Star Weekend on February 3rd and 4th of 2023. Skills on Friday, the main event on Saturday, as usual. This is also a rescheduling of an event announced for 2021, but no official logo was released last year, only this placeholder graphic. It will be the team's 2nd time serving as All-Star host. They previously had the game in 2003. The other major event announced was the return of the Global Series. This is where a few NHL teams leave North America for a handful of exhibition and regular season games. Dates were not announced, though the games typically take place within the first 2 months of the season. Finland and the Czech Republic will host regular season games, while Switzerland and Germany will see preseason action. Those exhibition games are branded as the Global Series Challenge, where NHL clubs face off against local teams. It's the same lineup that was scheduled for the fall of 2020. The league did not say which teams will take part in the rescheduled Global Series, but we can take a look back at what was planned for 2020. 4 teams were slated to go. The Boston Bruins and Nashville Predators would have finished their training camps overseas before meeting for 1 regular season game in Prague. Prior to that, the Bruins would have had an exhibition game against a local team in Germany, while the Preds followed suit in Switzerland. The Avalanche and Blue Jackets would have met for 2 regular season games in Helsinki in November. It's possible the league will choose different teams this time around. Either way, these games don't typically have special jerseys, just a logo patch. One other event you might be curious about is the Heritage Classic. The NHL has confirmed this event will not be held next season, but that's not unusual. Since being rebooted in 2011, the Heritage Classic has been staged in Canada every 2 or 3 years, and it sounds like the next one could come around 2024. That comes from the NHL's Chief Content Officer, Steve Mayer, speaking on the 32 Thoughts podcast with Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman.
There will not be a Heritage next year.
Okay.
Heritage will be back on the docket in 2 years.
Now that the dam's been broken on including American teams in the traditionally Canadian event, some have been asking whether the Heritage Classic could be played in the U.S. For example, Seattle hosting Montreal in a kind of rematch of the 1919 Stanley Cup Series, which was never completed due to another pandemic. Or maybe even Montreal hosting Seattle instead to keep it on Canadian soil. And given the geographic rivalry, a Seattle-Vancouver matchup could also make sense. Metropolitans versus Millionaires would be kind of fun. But that's just my take. What matchups would you like to see for future outdoor and global games? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel before you go. That's all for now. See you next time.